Welcome everyone and welcome to All In, All United.
Remember the comment he made?
I got some bars to these.
Run Ryan.
Ryan.
And here's the thing, you have players out there.
I think the fellas will take it more serious.
No way.
What grade?
That one had to go. Yes, because at the end of the day, right now, Manchester United are
Welcome fellas and welcome to All In, All United, and we have a full house this evening.
I wonder why.
We have a full house this evening. Nice. And I like how everybody representing, you know? How we talking about, man? How we talking about everybody representing, man? Whether you're wearing the blue, you know, not the blue side, but the blue of the red side, you know? Or you're wearing the red of the red side, because we know Manchester is red, right? Forever and always. You know, Oliver, I want to create a new segment for the podcast today, right? And I want to call it A Day in Our History, right? And I want to take Oliver back to October the 5th, 2020, right? October the 5th, 2020. Official. Amad Traore Diallo has joined Manchester United from Atalanta for a fee of 40 million euros, add-ons included. However, he will join the club in January 2021. 40 million euros. That's about 30-something million pounds all year, right? And to think that this man almost didn't make it at United, You know what I'm saying? It has some real criminals. Nico, I think you're muted.
Yeah. No, after spending especially that kind of money, you know what I mean, to think about he not really getting a chance, you know, to prove himself. When he would have proved it in the championship, he'd have proved it when he was on loan. But for some reason, you know, they wasn't giving him a chance. But I know Oli who made this, or not Oli, the signing was made. I definitely think it was a prudent one.
Yeah. Right. So I mean, he didn't. You see, he didn't suit that kick and run brand that those previous managers seem to want to push. Right. Now we have a manager that wants to play a little more sensible, utilize the football, technical qualities kind of football. These players are the ones who will thrive. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know if this segment might last. I don't know how long it'll last for, right? But A Day in Our History, fellas, right? But again, fellas, what a game. What a game. Coming from behind to beat City at the Etihad, at the death. I don't know any better feeling, fellas. I don't know. But on a real, when, you know, we were there and we were heading for a loss, I was still encouraged by what I was seeing, and I would have shared it with you. Right? I mean, the discipline, the patience, even when we were down and it was coming close to the end and the clock was ticking. You know, the fact that we showed that we could actually play football versus City and not just sit back and hope for a counter-attacking opportunity. Fellas, Nico, are ready to open a bottle and drink that juice, dog? I'm ready. You know, Phil was right here. Now, dog, I think I'm ready. You understand? Are you ready? Listening to the man talk and seeing, you know, how tangible things, the tangibles dread. I feel I'm ready to get my neck wet, man. You know. What we saying, fellas? What we saying?
Yeah. You know, and I talk about the performance. I think for me that stood out. The result, yes, we're grateful for the result, but the effort, you know, and sticking to, I guess, the identity we're trying to build throughout the 90 plus minutes. I think that was impressive for me the most. You know, at no point we really reverted to type. as we would normally do when we go down one goal. You even saw discipline from Bruno Fernandes, who we know, as much as we'd have seen him pressing the goalkeeper at times, but still, you saw a discipline in the team today, in the performance today, and I think that I felt good about that, and when I saw 1-0, I said, well, boy, even if we don't come back and enjoy this game, no matter, I know we had a chance in us, and when Bruno missed that chance, I thought that was the chance, and I was upset when Bruno missed that chance. I said, nah, Bruno, a whole goal like that, you can't miss it. And I thought that way we missed it. And even then, I say, you know what? We should have at least come out of this game with a draw because of the performance. But lo and behold, the Amad Diallo show, continues to roll on, and we came out with 3 points. Long live Amad Diallo.
I must say, the message that we got early before the derby today was that two academy graduates in Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho did not travel with the squad to the Etihad, and that kind of sends a message. It sends a message of like, I'm the boss. It's either my way or the highway. But this is I'd rather the manager say this than the players, right? That's the first thing. And then you fast forward to the final score, 2-1, right? Because people were messaging me on social media based on my tags today, and I was going to respond to all of them because they're all saying something similar in terms of like the performance today from both teams, right? So let's make a small sub segment called "That's Not My Fault," right? Kevin De Bruyne played shit today. That's not my fault. City were not able to break us down today. That's not my fault. Manchester City did not show up today. Again, that is not my fault. You can only play who is in front of you, right? At the end of the day, once you show up, the team who always makes the less mistakes will always come out on top, right? And I could plug 2 names that really impressed me today because everybody is on Amad and he totally deserves it. As I always said, this guy is the Ivorian Arjen Robben, Ivorian Van Persie, Ivorian Gareth Bale, right? Anyway, I saw a hint of leadership today from Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
We have come on this podcast and we have chastised, criticized Harry Maguire under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, under Ralph, and under Ten Hag in some instances as well too, right? But I saw some leadership from Harry Maguire today. He was solid today. That's the first name I'm going to plug. The second name that I'm going to plug as well, that I'm slowly but surely starting to fall in love with, is Manuel Ugarte.
Yeah.
Yep.
I done talk now.
Just before you go on, we move on to the others. Phil, you're clear to clear up your name there. I don't understand what's going on there.
Yo, boy, Xerxes took the ball to the corner flag and made sure that no City player could get that. What are you talking about? Xerxes, boy, I almost cursed Xerxes because that ball fumbled under his foot with simpleness, boy. But it ricocheted off of a few City players and he was able to get it back. And that guy played an important role in keeping those City players from getting the ball in those last 30 seconds, right? Joshua Xerxes,
I think any kind of sensibility and intelligence we want, from our players. I need to go through, Simeon.
I mean, it's so much to say about today. I mean, it really is. But I must start with the coach. I mean, all the calls he made today was so spot on. When you realize that you can't use some players have no role in your team and you leave them home. You know, you realize they can't help you. When you see they on the mind, when you stop them, they come off and they whining and they throwing tantrums. And you say, no, you know what? I want that. I leave that home. That's a big call that you have to make as a manager to let people know who's in charge. And then you go in, and even though your team sheet leak, I mean, we can guess who leaked the team sheet, but the team still go out and perform. You put people, everybody there had a job to do that they could do. You put Maguire to fight with Haaland because Haaland like to fight, Maguire like to fight. They say, you know what, Maguire handle Haaland. Maguire do that. But Rari on Doku, and he handled that. He put people in spots. He didn't have, Garnacho and Rashford, but he put people in places where they could do a job. Some people didn't do it to the degree we liked, but you saw a uniform, you saw a team that was running a system that they could handle. And you see men, running that system, flawlessly. Nobody was, shaking responsibilities. Nobody was, everybody was where they're supposed to be, working hard, not just, the first 10 minutes or 20 minutes. The whole game, you see that defense. I mean, it buckled, it, bent, but you didn't see that defense really break down. A corner give up. I mean, yeah, but the way this man coached this game, he just kind of wondered if he had enough up front to get the result we needed. And luckily we had enough, you know, enough magic in front, by the name of Amad Diallo to get us away line because, I went into this game expecting a loss. I will be honest. Where we've played, wasn't really encouraging. But to see them for us have enough fight and just enough class at the end to finish it, especially after Walker to take that dive. It was very, very, enjoyable in the end. So yeah, that's all I want to say, man. That's all I want to say. Cause if Aram did lose, somebody will be on social media liking posts. You know that
Yeah,
would be, somebody will be, talking about, oh, I didn't play, and you see what happened. So yeah, I enjoyed today.
yeah. JP.
Yeah, well, I drinking the juice long time. I thought of that. I put ice in it now, and I getting ready to go back and ask for a refill on my cup, right? I'm gonna take a sip. Today, I thought earlier, I would no City could I get licks from us. I thought earlier that in the last part that City is a team could get licks. Once we didn't make the mistakes, and once we capitalize on the chances that we got. And that's what we do today. We didn't make the mistakes in the back. We have solid game in the back. We Richard was on De Bruyne whole game. Maguire was locking down Haaland whole game, right? Mazwari get a little bit because Doku is a tricky character, but for the most part, he handled him. So the team as a whole, I think everybody did their job today. And I think what was the most impressive about it is the fact that Rashford and Garnacho get dropped totally out of the team. And it didn't affect a single player. You didn't even notice that these two players were not in the team today. And on the bench, they didn't even travel, they're not with the team. That's a huge call that the manager make today. He back himself, and it wasn't like what we see before where men come late and they sit down on the bench and they could come off the bench. We praise that, we was happy for that, but look at how he handled with the situation. You're not even on my squad. You out my squad. And nobody was affected by it. And that for me, that real stood out to you that everybody performance was at a top level. I don't care some pundits I hear Gary Neville saying the performance wasn't that great. That's rubbish. To me, this was one of our best performances on the Amarim so far because it was a total 90 minutes of everybody doing what they're supposed to do in this team. Everybody played their role today. Kobe came on and I think it turned out to be a blessing in disguise with Monk getting injured because Kobe was fantastic today, I find, on that ball. He was great on that ball today. And even though it take brilliance from Ahmad in the end to win the game, it wasn't just individual brilliance in a crappy performance. It
Exactly.
was individual
Exactly.
brilliance in a structured performance. And that is what we
Exactly.
need to see.
Yeah. Yeah. Chef, we done in the same thing, buddy. What we say? We done in the same blue. You know, even though Manchester red. What we saying?
No, we represent blue to show that red or blue, Manchester is red. You understand? Manchester United. You understand? Red or blue. You understand?
You know I'm that old man, so I just have to take my notes and then because time I reach here, I might forget. So let's start with a word that I'm going to be using quite a few times tonight. You see this word called standards? That is a word that has been lacking in the Manchester United vocabulary from since Ferguson. Standards in management, standards on the field, standards from the coach, standards from the
Chef,
board.
your audio kind of dropping a little bit. I don't know if you want to adjust your mic because we're hearing you and then you
Anything?
yeah, better.
All right, yeah. I was saying standards has been a thing has been lacking from our club since Ferguson. From our players to the manager to the board. It seems like we forget that word. When you listen to the manager talk, everything he talks about is standards. Standards from his players, standards from his employers. He expects certain things because, and rightfully so, because here's what we expect things from him. We expect him to use the type of team he have. I don't care who is the players. We expect him to do as much as he can with what he have and not complain. We expect that he would implement his plan and carry it out and not at the slightest not going so well, he weathered up. We expect that at the end of the day, he is the boss. No player is the boss of a club. And if you can't listen to me, you will get dealt with. When I heard before the game that there was no Garnacho, no Rashford, I stand up and clap. Well done. It begins. Because we're not bigger than the club. And I will say it again and again. I cannot be paying you close to 400,000 a week. And your whole demeanor is worse than Anthony Martial. You like the whole world against you. Nah, I'm sorry. I'm not taking that.
Don't go in that chef. Oh God, boy.
What? Who's more sulky than that?
Somebody else, boy.
No, I'm talking shit. Yeah. So, I'm not taking that. Michael Richards try to say that, well, it's because so much pressure is on him. And Roy Keane and Gary Neville countered it by saying, who had more pressure on them than Beckham, Rooney, Roy Keane, these kind of players? Them fellas I think men just get tired, you know. The more you win, is the more pressure that's be on you, you know. When you're losing, it's not no pressure on you, you know, because it's expected you ship. But when you're at
My characters and them know about that pressure, chef.
Exactly.
My characters and them don't know about that pressure. Them know about that.
Exactly.
Them don't know about that.
But here's the thing.
When them play, whatever happen.
Here's the thing, chef. I don't get that comment because I retweeted it today and I was like, is this guy for real? You're telling me that United captain, England captain, number 7, And also, the spotlight is on him, David Beckham. You're trying to say that Marcus Rashford, who just fed 1 million kids the other day,
Yeah.
has had more pressure than David Beckham of all people? How?
And this is why I'll tell you something earlier. I don't read too much into a lot of what pundits and them have to say because, in my opinion, plenty of them they just talk about a shit. Because Don, you can't tell me that. I refuse to take that off. So anyhow, back to what I was saying.
But the chef point too. To me, Bruno Fernandes is under more pressure than Marcus Rashford.
But Bruno Fernandes is under more pressure. He's the club captain.
Harry Maguire.
Let me be real.
Harry Maguire, when Harry Maguire was captain,
and that
was under more pressure than Marcus Rashford.
And that is what Gary Neville said. Dog, and I have his name here because I have. But I mean, listen, we'll get to that in another segment about certain players you already had to talk about. But when I saw how we started before the game, I said, you know what, Trent? Because from the last time I was here, I said, I expect me to get a cutters because I have no faith in this team. But, and I'll line and tell you, I ain't drinking the juice yet from the manager. I like him, man. Don't get me wrong. I like him and I like what he stands for. But I'm just not getting caught up in the hype of a new manager and everything. I've given him the season. Let's see how it goes. So, but I was pleased with everything he said before the game. When I saw the starting lineup, I was like, all right, this is a nice change. Let me see how it goes. And to be quite honest, in my humble opinion, this was one of the best Manchester United performances I have seen in a long while. And I'm not talking under this manager.
Yeah.
In a long time. Let me be real.
Yeah.
For years, every time we go in City to play, that is trepidation. Because we mind we could get blown early and quick. And every time City came at us, we weathered it. We went back at them. For me, I will stand. I know this will come with time. We could move the ball faster. That's the only thing I still find we could do. But I get it. We working on managing that. When you see we go to City and have more possession than City, them had to try and play counter-attack football than us. So for me, I
play football against City. When last
we play football. We play football today. We pass the ball. We had FT running down the ball, trying to win the ball.
I don't understand what Gary Neville and them saying about. This was my last note. Today we did not play good. I said, but these fellas want blood, like because you watch United was playing from the start of the season to now, and you still say you don't find. It was not sparkling performance by any means, but I will tell you something. If we had lost that game, I would have been irritated, but I would have still said, you know what? We improving.
We represent.
Clear to see. We improve. That's how much opportunities I had in this game?
None.
I think one.
I can't remember any at all. Probably one.
So
nothing notable.
So you understand? So this is what I'm talking about. You can't watching us, Kevin De Bruyne, accustomed to doing us what he wanted.
Foden.
So you know, just in closing, well done to the manager, well done to the players. And again, let me be about standards.
Standards, correct. Yeah. Well said, Chef.
No, but and you remember you want to go to the comments, but I just want to touch on the standards part before we come off it. And Amarin said something in the interview, and he said it has people losing the jobs.
That's right.
It's like people losing their jobs, and then you coming in training. You coming in training, and you do what you want. You want this one to be talking, or you know what I mean. You're not taking care of yourself how you're supposed to. But then people out there losing their jobs because of you. And you coming comfortable here, and doing what you want. So
Yeah.
back again, standards. It have people out here losing their work. And you come in here and doing what you want because your contract safe? No.
Yeah.
And,
Standards.
and let me even level it up. You understand? You have hardworking people like us who paying big money to go and watch all they play.
Yeah.
Men traveling thousands of miles
Yeah.
to just sit on the Old Trafford one time to see how they play shit.
Yeah.
All right, tonight
Yeah.
is supposed to be a fun podcast. So I can bring it back down a little bit to.
No, but still,
But
we talking about the manager said. The manager said that.
Okay, I get everything you guys are saying. Everything you guys have said has resonated with me. But I still want to have some fun on the podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
Before you get to the comments room, I gotta ask you guys this question. When the charges were brought against City, how many charges were there? How many charges were brought against City initially?
115.
115.
Yeah.
You know that the difference between us equalizing and the winner is 115 seconds. Now you can go. Now you can go to the comments.
What kind of sad trip to get to do this already?
No, you can go to the comments now.
No, but I want to introduce our next new segment, right? And this is what I want to call a series of fortunate events, right? So we had the first new segment, which is our day in our history. This next one is a series of fortunate events, right? So let me go. Right? 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 And the best one of here.
This is going to be a meme.
Oh, good.
This, and I want to start that meme. That is a classic. How are you doing?
So, earlier we don't know how it might go, but then the next segment that we now introducing to All in All United. Anyway, let me get the comments, guys. Right?
Very good.
Aaron on the inside. Good night.
Good night, bro.
Thanks for joining, man. Kurt on the inside. Glory, man. You.
Good early today, boy.
Yeah. Say, boy, I enjoy today. You and every other Man United fan, boy. Ten Hag was doing in keeping Ahmad, or what Ten Hag was doing in keeping Ahmad on the bench, boy. Mylon on the inside. Good night, man. Thanks for joining. Saying Ahmad 3 times, yeah. Chris on the inside as well. Thanks for joining. 3 points, and we deserved it too. Facts.
Agreed.
Yep.
Facts, guys. Don't forget to like and share the podcast. We want to get more and more people on the inside. Yeah. Alan on the inside. Thanks for joining, man. Good night to you. He's saying, it felt good today to see Ahmad that really played from the first minute to when he was substituted in the 90th minute. And this is the passion and determination that we require. Standards. He also saying here, I hope that Rashford and Garnacho, we know for sure Rashford was watching, right? Because he posted something he was watching.
Of course he watched it.
I know about the next one, right? He must be just waiting for something bad to happen. Simeon said to like some stupid post.
Yeah.
Right? Arun on the inside. I wanted Arun comment already at here. He's saying, where was Garnacho and Rashford? Rhetorical question, right? Yeah, we won't answer. Whatever, right?
The train this morning. They said the train hard this morning.
Yeah. Candace on the inside, thanks for joining. Good night. Glorious goals, glorious win, game well played, no doubt.
Well played.
Malik on the inside, thanks for joining. Right? Pep Guardiola, something Premier League, something Red Devil, something Manchester.
Man, something Rashford.
Manchester.
Something.
Hey, Chef, relax.
All right, let me go. Thanks for the comments.
You must like a horse racing commentator, boy.
Christopher on the inside, big up, man. Thanks for joining, buddy. Manchester is red.
And we'll be.
Yeah, he's saying, Reem was saying we deserve to win right before the second goal, and that is what I want to note. This win was deserved. Gary Neville could haul, right?
Yep.
Not Hall.
Yeah, and I want to bring in something here because I don't know, like, and I always talk about Gary Neville, these ex-players who in put tree, you know, I have an issue because, and somebody else mentioned it earlier, how you can make this kind of comment, how you like always, you will swear these fellas never play football in their life. You could swear Gary Neville never played football in his life. You could watch that game and tell me Man United didn't deserve to win that game.
And I want to add something to what you're saying there, Dan. Let me tell you something, eh? I just watch all kind of podcasts with all kind of ex-players and things. And I swear, Manchester United ex-players have a stick up the ass for the team now. So, you can't tell them bias source. I don't care because all the other teams and them ex-players they show a clear bias to the team to play for them.
Yeah, but Chef, even if you don't show a bias, at least talk sense now. So you're so trying to be unbiased. You're so trying to be in the middle that you're blinded to facts.
But you didn't hear Roy keep on your say it. Roy keep watching my dog. You want again, Dan? Roy keep made that point, and to it just came back to me when men making excuses that Ahmad is a 22-year-old who's still trying to make his way, and in the 80-something minutes. He's still making runs from the right side to the left side, from the left side to the right side. Men have no excuses. None. Gary Neville, ease me up. Please.
Yeah, nonsense. Kiel Andrew on the inside. Good night, man. Thanks for joining.
Good night, man.
Yes. GGMU forever. Alan saying, yeah, let Chef cook. Yeah. Really, I don't care on the inside. Thanks for joining here. I've been talking about the Ivorian Messi, that previous ballhead fraud. Phil, there you are.
Nah, I won't take it as far as Messi, Gareth Bale, and Robin and Robin Van Persie for now.
That was his nickname. That was his nickname at Atalanta.
The Ivorian Messi? Really?
Ivorian Messi.
They used to say Ivorian Messi. Yeah.
Okay.
When we signed him, he was like a big hype when we signed him.
He was, yeah, true. But that was the movie comment though.
Yeah, Gregory on the inside. Thanks for joining, man.
Gregory.
Just busy kissing Pep. Right?
Yep.
No doubt. Eric on the inside. Thanks for joining, man. United. Manchester is red. All right. Arun saying here, Peter Drury with his poetry. A blue moon eclipse. Hey, watch me. That man write a book in a Peter Drury. I write a book with
it's true, boy.
phrases and all.
I love that guy, boy.
Yeah.
Broadcaster.
Yeah, commentator, the man on top of your game. Really, I don't care saying here. I'm so happy Trashford and Nacho Cheese is going. They're gone, right? They're gone. Chef, this one is for you, right? Marcel was never sulky, right? I rebuked that. He used to look like he frowning when he scored. Rashford actually sulks and moves. Be fair. And I fully agree with this. I fully subscribe to this comment, Christopher. Right?
Of course.
Christopher. And I refer to some comments just before. You could call with that comment. Marcel was a sulking biatch.
Lies.
We continue.
Lies. But we move.
That man like he must be so sulking. He having sex and all.
Could say today we maintain the shape in defense and in attack. Yeah. Discipline. Right? No one can stop the Ivorian Mr. This name a lot more popular than I think.
Yeah.
Riyad on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying time to move Marcus on, even if we get to 40 million for him. All right.
That's for Marcus.
Now I think we
if
we get 40, we get plenty. Trust me. All right. Kurt saying here, no lie, Ahmad is deceivingly quick. I cannot believe how quickly he closes down on the defenders who are seem like the weak link. Okay, I think I get what you're saying. Raya saying, you serious man was sulky like a disappointed child at Christmas. He talking about, but we know Raya don't like Martial, right? So I didn't even take him nothing he said serious about Martial, right? Javed on the inside, he's saying happy with the win, pleased with the performance. Only Dalo had me cussing today. Yes, fully agree. Dalo.
We gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
Right. Them pictures should be called "Life Comes at You Fast." Yeah. I like that. I like that. Right. Rishi on the inside. Good night, but thanks for joining. Only got a chance to see from the second half. Didn't know about the Russian Garnacho drop, and then realized they wasn't even playing until the 80th. We looked so much smooth as a team.
Smoother.
Fact.
And we didn't have the count, or we didn't have to depend on the pace on the counter, because that would have happened. Because we know Garnacho and Rashford quick on the counter, that what we're looking for now. That is with the fault. You know, if we're behind, then fellas, but we didn't have that. So now we had to think. Now we had to play the ball. Now we had different type of players. So we had to play the different type of players' strengths.
Yeah,
you know, and that worked our favor today.
We didn't have to worry about the attackers losing the ball and not trying to run back and win back the ball. We didn't have to worry about that today at all. And team and all doing a job at getting back.
Yeah. Kevin Williams on the inside. Thanks for joining, man. He's saying big up that youth Ahmad.
Yeah.
Right. Kiel Andre saying here still don't get some people thinking that Rashford and Garnacho will only drop because they can't play the formation. That's a poor excuse. And I want to get to that comment, right? So I'll come back to this comment, right?
Yeah.
Rishi saying here, Ahmad playing in boss mode and waiting for the rest to catch up. All right. Kiel saying here, I stopped listening to Gary. He had bad, hence why he's no longer a coach. He was a bad coach. He was a bad good coach on that.
But
them fellas get them kind of coach work because they come from Man United and people expect them to do good.
Correct.
You know?
Correct. And with Ferguson, that's like you apply for a work and they get the Prime Minister to give a recommendation.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm giving them the work. Boy, Gary never was one shit on a manager.
Kevin James on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying that win felt good, boy. Even when Bruno missed, I still feel confident of a comeback. Boy, I was different. After that miss, I go my head.
No, I was upset. But I was saying, but if we get one goal, I think we could have win.
If we get one,
you know?
Facts.
Yeah. Or at least we deserve something from this game.
Yeah,
and for some reason I thought we'd get.
Yes.
Yeah. Kevin saying here, I have blue soap for Mount. Hey, but Mount, but...
Nah. I don't be blue soap for that.
I was hoping we might have finished the podcast and then talk about this man, boy.
I just want to get some comments from Amorim, you know, because I think they were very telling. And I mean, you know how the media is. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Right? So you don't do something, the media will, if you do something and it don't work out, the media come in and you do the worst thing in the world. You know, so obviously the post-match would have been filled with questions about the omissions of Rashford and Garnacho. You know, but I think the manager handled the questions pretty well. You know, and he while he didn't throw anybody under the bus, so to speak, he set the standard as chef and we were, you know, talking and agreeing on. So he was saying here it was not a disciplinary thing, and he emphasized and re-emphasized this. Right? He's saying we have to put the standards really high and they have to fight for places in this team. It's the small details, right? You can see the games like I can see. There are some things that has to change. Next week, it's a new week, new life. It's how you dress, how you eat, and how you interact with your teammates, right? And guys, I'm telling you, I think these comments were very, very telling, right? He spoke about the fight. And for me, from what I've been seeing over an extended period of time, Rashford has lost his fight.
Yes, he has.
All right?
Yeah.
So Rashford had to find that back. And we were talking about JP, myself and JP, in our next podcast. We were talking about Garnacho and what Garnacho needs. Garnacho needed dropping. And JP was the one who said, not even on the bench, out of the team.
Yeah.
out of the team. Yeah.
right? And the last part for me, if I interpreting this based on what I have seen, how you interact with your teammates, you can be
Yeah.
liking posts and criticizing your teammates.
Yeah.
Your reaction when you came off the bench last game, that was embarrassing. It was an embarrassment.
You come to training and you don't want to talk to people in it. You imagine that now. You come to training, and you barely want to talk to them and your teammates and them because you vex. Well, all right, vexing character.
Yeah, so I telling you, I mean, I know Phil, we ain't going on your negative thing, but it's just we noticing what could possibly have been, the issues that have been keeping us down, right? And we have a manager that's coming in now, and purposing to address them now, but it is hard decisions, but you had to make them. And I've been honest with you, all the fellas, I'm really glad we win for the man's sake, but because I can imagine if we didn't win this game today.
Yeah, that crucified.
Go through, Phil.
But I gotta say that with regards to the standards, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, they're not unrealistic standards,
No.
These are yeah,
Right there,
it's bare minimum. It's bare minimum with a hint of respect.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. We're not asking you to show up to training 12 hours before, or to run to training, or to run 12 miles a day. We're just asking you to respect yourself first, and if you can respect yourself, you will respect others as well around you as well, right? And I'm so glad that Amarin had to outline these standards for not only just Garnacho and Rashford, but for the entire team, from I guess the coaching staff to even himself, to the first team players, to the youth, to the academy, right? You have to set standards. If you don't abide by these standards, then what is the chance of you being successful at Manchester United? Zero.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And that's it.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
and let me go back. Roy Keane said it. Like exactly what we just said. Roy Keane said it is the bare minimum at any job. You come to the job, you give your all, you respect your job. He says not like we asking all you to invent water. But just do your job, Dred. And do your job to the best of your ability. And I want to build that. And we just always say we don't know everything that is going on within men's lives, within what we're on the training ground. We can only base our opinions and what we see. And not only what we see now, but on a consistent basis now. Or they can really watch us as fans and say they're giving the order. Them giving 300,000 pounds a week on. Nah, doesn't matter.
Yeah. So guys, we touched the surface on a lot, but I want to get into the game a little bit now, right? So Simeon, I want to start with you. Thoughts on the game, certain things that would have impressed you, and as well, things that irked you a little bit that we had to fix, if we want to continue on this wave of improvement and the upward trajectory.
I mean, what really impressed me was, like I said before, Amarim's ability to use the players he has. Like, you look at the back, the back three, more or less. You have the three M's. You have Martinez, Matthias de Ligt. You have Maguire back there. And them is three leaders back there. Like, that for us, you think you could trust, for the most part, you could trust, that for us go fight. You put them for us in the right position to work. And even though our goal was scored early, it wasn't really, like a breakdown. I feel like then for us, like, we're always in the right spot. Maguire I didn't really see him make a wrong move today. So how he used his players I thought was great. The system looked great from the start. Like, I felt like we were good in possession. The movement of the ball was good. We still lacked that edge, up front in the front three. I thought, everything worked well. Like Dallo could use some work, but you saw the system working. You saw, Abraham's tactics working against, you say Pep, and we always had this kind of worry when we played Pep that we would be our coach. But today seemed like with what we had, even without Rashford and Garnacho, he had a nice, solid plan. The team looked solid, and we weren't, bothered by anything they were doing. It's just I felt we lacked, that, but you can't be mad. Like at this stage of the team being going through this new formation, this new system, this is what you expect. The issue we had with Ten Hag was, he never quite got to a point where he would use players that suit his system. He always try to fit somebody in. Today, especially with the exclusion of Rashford and Garnacho, you saw his system working, even though it couldn't work. It wasn't flawless. We had a good game because we actually saw something working, but we used what we had, and even though like I said, Dallo, as well, as he played, he couldn't deliver that final ball, but he was always in the spots he needed to be. I think that kind of goes to the whole team. A lot of them couldn't deliver. Even Ahmad in the first half, Ahmad, the Brunos, they couldn't finish. A lot of chances they had, they could really finish and finish it off. But they were always in the right spot, and that's at the end of the day with the players you have as a coach. That's what you need to see from your team.
Yeah. JP, you wanna jump in?
Yeah, for me, I will say, for the most part, my positive takeaway from the game is the way we play as a team today. You saw a cohesion in the way everybody would have executed what they were supposed to do. Ugarte especially, I think, was. I don't think we could talk enough about what Ugarte doing for that midfield right now. The energy that he bring in, his reading of the game, how he breaking up play, passing off the ball. And it's not just like the basic passes, you're seeing a range of passing in his game now too.
He's getting better.
Yes.
Yeah, he is. He is. By game,
Quite
you're
good.
just seeing a proper player in our midfield there now. And I think Kobe really compliment him well. And I know a lot of us were calling for that to be the partnership. And in a few moments today, I could say I actually see what Nick was talking about defensively with Kobe, where I was kind of shouting at him to go a little faster at the man. Like sometimes he's jogged back a little bit too much and he don't go with enough intensity when he doing the midfield work. So that's one aspect of Kobe game that I think he needs to work on when he in the defensive side of his game. But overall, I think the performance was a top performance. I would say 6.5 and up is what we saw in terms of everybody. We got 6.5 and up. Ahmad would have been the highest, of course, but at the lowest, I would put Dallo. And that would be about a 6.5 performance. And I think it was a lot better than what we saw in previous games from Dallo, although he had that his obligatory trip off moment where he's had to put a ball across the midfield and pass it to opposition.
JP.
To do that every day.
Yeah, but JP, you're using words we don't understand. You're using words. Anyway, go ahead.
Sorry. He had every game Dallo have to make a pass in that midfield.
And give away the ball. Yeah, and give away the ball.
Every game, right? So other than that, but I think other than that, he had a decent game. It was simple. It wasn't. He was getting forward a little more. I think if we could get a little more output from him, with his distribution and the crosses and things like that, that would be a lot better. Maswari as well in the wing back position. He had a lot of work to do with Doku, He had real work to do with Doku. Doku make him do a little samba once again, you know. But but he was good. He was good. And even going forward, what I like with him is when he going forward, he's find a route out. He don't
Yeah.
always try to go back. He's look for a route. Even if it's a cut in midfield, but he progressing the ball at the same time. I
Yeah.
think that's what we need to see more of, and just increase the tempo in the game. But that will come. I think it will come. What I really liked was I didn't see panic. I didn't see Bruno tripping off. It had instances where I see Bruno getting a ball and I done see the Hollywood pass to my head, and he sized up to do it, eh? He sized up to it, and then you see him he fake and he pass it simple.
Yeah.
And he passed it simple. And I was like, look at this. Bruno was just playing the fool all the time, or he was operating under instructions. Which one it is?
No, there's
Because
no
Bruno could
instruction.
simplify his game.
Bruno just win the game for we. Do whatever you need to do. Do whatever you need to do.
He was operating
Exactly.
no instructions.
They freestyle it.
Yeah. But overall, I was just impressed by the overall performance. Yeah, and we want to see more of this. And you know the funny thing is, I mentioned at least in 2 or 3 podcasts that the 2 players struggling under Amorim is the same 2 men who get leave out totally today.
Yeah.
And there's the 2 players that was very obvious they were struggling in the system.
Yeah.
And I think it was more than just struggling on the field, but they're not struggling. They're struggling with his standards.
Yeah.
To keep him at Sheffield today, they're struggling with his standards of what he require from his players.
But JP, before we jump in, like what bugs me is all the same things that Amorim requires them to do. The same thing that Ten Hag, Ten Hag was the same thing, and he wasn't getting, and he still pick the men all the time.
Exactly.
And that is the problem.
And that was the problem with Ten Hag.
Yeah.
He was still picking
That
them
is the
over.
problem.
Yeah.
Then Amorim basically say, without saying it, all your egg would not get me fired, you know.
Yeah.
That's what he say. He basically telling them, all your nut would not be the reason I lost my work, you know.
Yeah, facts. Nico, I wanna jump on. I wanna get your in on this, right? Same thing. You know, your thoughts on the game. You know, the things that impress you, things that you didn't like. But I want to also throw in here. Sometimes I'll ask some stupid questions, right? But just to get we thinking, eh? And it's only because I know the players. Sometimes, and we've seen it in the past, it just be easy to get up for a big game like City. You know, because even on that Ten Hag, sometimes we'd have played rubbish 4 past games. But then for City, we'd have get a performance like last season, the FA Cup final. Before that, Eric Ten Hag was losing the walk. But then the team just show up for City. So you think it have any big game kind of hype behind the players, or this was what we're gonna look for? We're gonna see this going forward. What gave you that thought that this is what we're gonna see going forward? This level of quality.
So I guess I would tie that in with what I've seen good in this game, and I saw patience, you know, because in the past we would have, let me say, we'd have won a game like this, but we'd have run ragged, you know, which and nothing wrong with that, nothing wrong with that, but we'd have long busted, you know, for the entire game, and which we'd have done for maybe even smaller games and won. But today it shows a level of control and a level of patience, you know, and for me that's the difference.
Yep.
You know, we didn't win it ragged. You know, we didn't win it by a long ball and a man run on and a counter attack and no.
Yeah, it didn't seem fluky. Yeah.
No, it didn't seem like that. You saw patience during the game. First half we didn't create, right? But as the game opened up, playing the same way, you saw that we started to create chance after chance after chance. We created about 3 or 4 chances before that goal.
Yeah.
Right? Even that chance, Bruno got the clearance, but we saw Meno got a header. We saw Ahmad where he maybe just mistrapped the ball a little bit, and when he kicked the goal post, right?
Mhm.
That and all was a moment that he got away from the defender and we was just a slip that he overtouched a bit. But you saw the chances coming and all of the chances came because of patience. You saw you saw passes to create those chances. And fortunately, yes, we'd have gotten it again by Ahmad's tenacity, but we would have weighed down City to the point for them to make them errors.
Yeah.
And that's because we was being patient in our build-up, patient probing, and I wouldn't be surprised that this Nunez fella, right? He was more or less playing out of position. That
Mhm.
it was an instruction to press him on the ball because it had times when he was on the ball that they just see all the team click and they went into him very aggressively. I don't know if you can remember those plays. And you saw everybody play bad. He get the ball, they're getting on him.
Yeah.
And so to me, the patience today, boy. The patience today. And with the patience, you felt a belief that chance going and come. Or let we just keep doing it. That chance going and come. That chance going and come. Let us give up chances. Let me keep doing what we're doing. Let me don't change it.
Mhm.
And we could have won this game 3-1 today or 4-1 today comfortably.
Yeah.
So that is my little contribution there.
Yeah. Now, Phil, I want to get in on this one. What are you saying?
I don't know about you guys, but I literally felt no. Like when I was watching the game today, I felt no threat from City. I looked at it and I was like, this is not the City of like 2 or 3 years ago. But hey, like I said about 40 minutes ago, that's not my fault, right? I want to touch on the midfield partnership of Kobe Manu and Ugarte. Quite similar playing styles, and I think that this should be our midfield duo for the rest of the season in the Premier League. Maybe also in Europa League. Swap it around in the Carabao Cup, maybe the FA Cup, depending on who we're playing. But I think this should be our midfield duo going forward in the Premier League if they're fully fit, right? I may even stick my neck out, and this is something I have not done for this player in past seasons. But I also think that the back three of De Ligt, Maguire, and Martinez could work out. It could, right? I think today we saw some, if not most, of our players in their natural position. We have been in the last couple of weeks discussing should Ahmad be further up, should Ahmad be on the right wing back position, and I think this is the second or third game in a row where we saw Ahmad in the number 10 position, and lo and behold, did well. We did mention that Ahmad at the right wing back position could be a blessing and a curse, where he's doing so great that Amren would be like, okay, well, that's your position now, right? But seeing Ahmad in the 10th position today, definitely, and obviously he got man of the match, and it was totally deserved, right? I think I can see the stages of what Amren wants from Manchester United, because there's some teams where they want to run before they can crawl, right? So I think the way Amran has a setup is this here. We're going to learn to control the football, possession-based team, and stay focused. That's the first thing we have to do, right? The goal scoring and the feeding to the striker will come later on, but if the basics right, control the football, stay focused. One thing I wanted to mention as well, and JP mentioned it, was you in your mind, when Bruno Fernandes had the football, you thought it was going to be a hero pass, a hero ball, right? Even the cameraman thought the same thing as well, because the cameraman was like, and then when you realize that the cameraman is focused on Bruno controlling the football, I was like,
No, the cameraman one time.
Because the cameraman knows Bruno Fernandes and all Bruno Fernandes. That time the cameraman did so, and then the cameraman had to jerk back so on because Bruno still had the ball. It wasn't going to Garnacho or Rashford.
Oh, yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if you can get a midfield trio of Bruno, Ugarte, and Kobe Mino disciplined for 10, 15 games in a row, I don't see why we can't come into the top 4. Top 6, sure, but maybe if we can get these 3 guys disciplined, because at the end of the day, you're younger. The youth in the team are going to copy what the senior leaders are going to be doing, right? Because we see Bruno back in the day used to do a lot of hero ball, and all of a sudden everybody else started to do hero ball, right? Earlier, about a month ago, 3 weeks ago, I said I would not touch on Mazraoui because Mazraoui is one of those players that you will always get a performance out of. Another thing I think either JP or Simeon mentioned was that we have a right wing back that does not always have to back pass. He looks to get out of the zone. He looks to find space where he can make things happen, right? Ladies and gentlemen, in the comments, I do not miss Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I repeat.
He's to play for Manchester United?
I do not miss Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I do not. Okay, as Chef said, who? Look, we don't expect Rome to be built in a day, right? And similar to Chef, I'm not drinking the juices yet. The juice is still in the fridge.
Let's stick in, man. Let's stick in.
Nah. Because look,
back now, man.
We've been down this road.
We've been down this road all the time. And look, when Ruben Amorim was hired, right? I think myself and Chef stated, let's come back a year from now and see if these players and down tools, right? Now, I may even pull it up to earlier, and I say earlier because if Ruben Amorim, as I mentioned on previous podcasts, can come to some of these players a month before the season ends and says, look, you're not part of my plans for next season. Let's find 4 or 5 other players to replace you. That's when I will probably start sipping on the juice, right? But as of right now, Ruben Amorim is setting his standards. I think by now Ruben Amorim should know who his starting 7, starting 8 should be, right? Maybe by the end of January we will see a starting 11, right? Off the top of my head, it's probably the back 3 of maybe. Well, I think Maguire and Euro may rotate, right? Yeah. So, a starting 7 or a starting 8. I think Ruben Amorim should know by at least today, right?
Yeah.
One thing we got to question is that all of us just want consistency. Yeah. So you got to be consistent versus Manchester City, but you also got to be consistent versus Newcastle, Everton, Nottingham Forest, Wolves. The same performance we saw today, right? We just ask that you put that in another 5, 10, 15 times, right? Have the off game, have the bad game, have that one bad game in between 10, 12 games. Okay, cool. But don't be like this here, like a roller coaster, up and down, up and down, up and down. Because we could be all excited and hyped after the City win. But then we go against Spurs, we go against Arsenal in the FA Cup, then what? Right? Yeah. So we just ask for a little consistency. Right? Yeah. But boy, Manchester's red, and we all know this.
Chef, I want to come to you, right? But I just want to get some comments before I come to you. But what I want to ask you, Chef, right? I want to know from your take, because Amorim was losing a lot of games, so this result was important for him and for his plan, But I want to know from you, how important was this win for him, because he didn't win in a while, I mean, as much as we could say preseason, the pressure will be mounting. Your players, start to question, what you're doing. But to get such a result against such a big team, I mean, albeit that they're going through a little bit of a slump, them fellas could turn up at any point in time. So how important was this win for Amorim? Let me just get some comments, right?
Sure.
Right. So Christopher saying here, Marcelo was a deep thinker, not a sulker. He was calculating his next move of greatness.
Next.
I need to find a way to pin this comment, Christopher.
Hey.
The man thing was a deep thinker, you know.
Hey.
Javed Senior for Bruno miss. I was spending more time being impressed by the build-up versus studying the miss. Great play from Rasmus, but even
Yeah,
more
it was
greater
good
play
play.
from Mazwari. Mazwari take that ball from the back and carry it in front. He ride Doku challenge. He could
Yeah.
have fallen and with a
Right.
free kick, and then we don't know
Yeah.
what
Right.
happened after
Yeah.
that. Yeah. You know, Jody on the inside. Thanks for
Hey,
joining,
Jody.
man.
This man,
Where
this
you watching?
old Polari Emperor.
Where you watching? Where you watching? I wonder where you watching. Yeah. Kiel Senior, well said, JP. That's exactly it. They're not up to do the basics and running forward and back. Yeah. Kurt Senior, Mazwari is the truth by best bargain buy in years. All right.
Super.
Doing on the inside. Good night, man. Thanks for joining.
How you
Yeah.
doing?
Oh, doing.
On the inside. Glory, Man United. Thanks for joining, buddy. Mickey on the inside. Thanks for joining, man. Glory, Man United. Hope all is well with you all. I still find the guys not moving fast enough with the forward plays, holding the ball too long.
Yeah.
I love the fight back, especially against City. Yeah, no doubt. Ever since Senior Ahmad was class to the difference between 3 points and no points. Facts.
Yeah.
Because I was saying here, Manchester is red, Violets are blue. Great performance, but today the Oscar goes to. Oh yes, I saw this post from
Kyle Walker.
Kyle Walker.
Listen. If all you had children around, put them to bed now. Because when we started talking about Kyle Walker, Dad,
Man, forget. Man, that was absolute shithousery. But the picture of Onana resting on Bernardo Silva's back.
Yeah.
I think that was rude and that was disrespectful. And he should take
I
that.
didn't see that one. I didn't see that one.
I see that one.
That was absolutely disrespectful.
Who put it up? Onana?
Yes.
Onana, son?
I think Onana. I will send you guys the picture later on.
You have it?
Yeah, I have it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, so Chef, coming to you because I mean I want to get one more thing and then wrap it up, right? So tell me now, how important was this win for the manager?
For him right now, let me tell you something. The coach could be a politician, because that I just truly enjoy his interviews. To ask him the same question that you just asked me, and he basically said, "Well, it was under 3 points again because it's against a big opposition, but at the end of the day, it is about the process." And to be quite honest, I given him that in this moment in time. Yes, it was good to beat City, and to be quite honest, I think.
What's a parcel?
I think he needed that win to just show, not necessarily us, but show the wider media that listen, the team buying into and the team capable of collecting 3 points against big opposition and not just them dog team in Europa. So I personally find it was a much needed trip. I mean, we lose the last 2 in the league too. So, it was a needed 3 points for him. And I honestly believe we can kick on.
Yeah. Well said. Christopher saying here, Amorim has us playing in a consistent style and structure. And with him putting Rashford and Garnacho in their place, he's setting standards. I'm just being patient while he keeps on collecting them Infinity Stones. All right. So fellas, I mean, we want to wrap it, right? But Nico, well, me and Nico was live earlier today, right? And Nico had made that point, right? And he was talking about what Amorim spoke about with the level at the standard at the academy, wanting to filter players to the senior team and the challenge you would have. Just wait to mention that point, Nico.
Yeah. No. So when Amorim came into the club, I guess he would have went to the academy, and he would have saw the talent in the academy, and he wasn't impressed. I don't know how much of you would have heard that. He said for a big club as Manchester United, the quality in the academy should be way more advanced, or we should have way more quality in the academy um, than we have at the moment. And I mean, we just be sold by media, of course. As Man United fans, and we would even follow some of the results. But for a manager who would have been, to other clubs and seen quality in other places, he questioned the quality we have in the academy for a big club as Manchester United now. So myself and Ree was talking about that, and that was startling for me as well to hear that. That, and we've seen it too, because you're seeing maybe one or two players. Yes, we saw the academy. You saw the academies making their debuts, but how much of them really setting a standard now? How much of them being a staple? Garnacho was one of the latest. Yes, but we should definitely have more, and I guess that would save us from spending a lot in the transfer window as well.
Yeah, and even when they consider how much we just sell them fellas for kind of 300,000 and thing.
Yeah.
While Chelsea selling their players for all kind of $25-30 million.
Yeah, what City sell Palmer for?
Hyper price.
I mean, you have to ask the question like with what do they teach our players in the academy? Like, you have these great skill players, a lot of skill players coming through like Garnacho. You have the few players like Kobe. Like, are we making sure that these guys know the basics? A lot of guys come through and it's like you may have like a Kobe, then you have like a Garnacho, and it's like one guy could pass, shoot, defend, do everything, and one guy could just all you know to do is dribble to the corner and shoot. So I wonder if that kind of basic, football IQ, basic pass, shield the ball, carry ball, just basics. I wonder if the basics not being taught well in the academy, because their fellas are doing well in England, but I don't see too many good results when they play in Europe. I know somebody else could like let us know how they get those guys do in Europe when they play in those leagues. But I always wonder, like, do we get complete players when they come up the line? It's like, it reminds me of, they say you have Trinidad football. You might see a good player come through here and there. Say, boy, Trinidad football good, but is that fella any father training, that fella any one coach training? Like, do we have good coaches down the line teaching these fellas the basics, or is it we buy a player from a good coach, or we buy a player when he's 16 and he already know that stuff and bring him in? Because I feel like
with Garnacho, right? Because Garnacho came around about maybe 16.
Yeah, 16, so are the basics of football being taught at United, or was it just skill players you're bringing in and and have them come true?
A simple answer to that, Simeon, is a question that was asked recently in our next group of lines. When was the last time the Manchester Academy produced a world-class player? And we had a and don't please, I don't want to Marcus Rashford is a world-class player.
No, but I think Meno could still be on that trajectory.
Yeah.
We're not saying no. We still talk about trajectory. We talk about when last as the academy produced a world-class player, not world-class potential, a world-class player. And we know fully well we have to take long and hard to come up with that. So
yeah, because we produce players that we get excited about.
Yeah,
we get
excited. We overhype them.
We get hype about Mason Greenwood, Garnacho, Kobe Menu, Dan Gore, Zidane at Bal. These are players we get excited about, right? But in terms of like who was the last world class player the United Academy produced, boy,
Paul Pogba.
Yeah.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong, Reem. But if we really had to really go back, it had to be CR7, boy.
No, but he didn't come through the academy.
Oh, well, sorry,
Yeah,
not CR7. Probably even further. Probably even around the CR7 era had to be like a Ryan Giggs then.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
Ryan Giggs,
I
Paul
clap for
Scholes.
94. I clap for
Yeah.
94. I think after that, I really think Paul Pogba is
Yeah. You're not wrong, but I mean, in terms of like a world class player from the academy that everybody can get behind, because Paul Pogba
Okay.
got most people divided, right?
right.
If you had to go, if you had to like go, you had to go back before that. I had to say Giggs, Schools.
Now
Maybe
that's
those.
it. Good enough. That's if we go
Yeah.
into
That's all.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Manchester United has always been about academy experience and starlets, right?
Yeah.
So starlets could be like back in the day, you had your Nani, Anderson, these type of guys that were starlets, right? Even earlier, you had your Martials and what's not, right? These guys are just starlets because they're not through the academy, but you're buying this player between the age of like 18 and 21, 22. Looking to develop them. They're a no-name player, and you're looking to turn them into like a star, right? But yeah, in terms of like world-class players, boy. But
And that's
I mean, yeah,
So is it
I
that
think go ahead, Chippy.
is it that we have to look at the transition then? Because the last 3 years, our under 18s and 21s dominated in England. So and
The
it's
under
only
18s, not the
recently
under
that
21.
started.
Not the under 21, but the under 18.
Yeah, with the 18s for sure. The
Yeah.
21s not doing so bad now because of some of the 18s are moved up from any side now.
Yeah.
And funny enough, it's only recently I started following Stratford Paddock have a pod that they do with a guy who is follow the youth teams. And he's coming every week and give an update on all the youth teams. And
this with the ball head guy.
yesterday, yeah. So he did some work with Chido Obi. Apparently he dropped the match. So it's just Chido Obi now. So apparently he do some personal work with him. Like they had some videos circulating and thing, and he was talking about you have certain players who have that desire to want to work on their game. And they would hire persons privately, it's outside of the club. They would hire persons privately to work with them to up their game then. So I wonder if the problem we having is in transitioning these players from playing the lower level football to coming into senior team play. Because if you look at somebody like, even though we didn't have world class players, let's look at the time from Fergie up to Fergie. We had decent players who could still go to other clubs and have a decent career. Look, Welbeck is one of the last surviving ones from that time. He come through the academy, and Welbeck never dropped down to a championship team. He always remained at a Premier League level. So I would say Welbeck was a successful Man United academy graduate, because it's not easy to stay in the Premier League for your whole career. It's not easy thing to do. So I think if we have players who do things like that, I would say they're successful. So they don't necessarily have to be world class. So I think we're not creating Premier League players then. I think that's what the problem is. That we don't look at world class, we look at Premier League quality first.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem, that we're not doing that transition. Like, we see any talent. What happened to the guy who went Everton? I forget his name now. Who was showing
James Garner.
James Garner, boy.
James Garner. Like, look at that. Like, he shows so much promise, and he looked like he had a cool head on him, things like that. So what happened with players like that who could be like a Darren Gibson? How Darren Gibson was in Man United. He wasn't the best player, but he was a solid player.
Even Fletcher, yeah.
Yeah, Tunzebe right now doing well at Ipswich.
He's doing well, yeah.
And
the main head at all of this talent, JP, was a guy by the name of Sir Alex Ferguson. And at the end of the day, we don't have a Sir Alex Ferguson in charge. There aren't any Sir Alex Fergusons in the Premier League, right?
What I like now is how you see Amorim was at the recent youth game. So he wants to be
Yes.
more involved at that level. So I think if he more involved at that level, then we could start to see the transition taking place, because even that is what Darren Fletcher role supposed to be. His role supposed to be the transitioning from youth into the senior team. He's supposed to be
Yeah.
handling that aspect of things. And Fletcher was there with them, was there with him in that game as well. So I hoping now that we will start to see we chilling out all the potentials turning into more prospects, and you've seen them doing even better going forward and being mainstays, even if not at Man United, but doing better in the Premier League, because that way there is total profit on those players. You're
Yeah.
making proper profit on them kind of players. Total
Yeah.
profit.
There's one thing that Simeon mentioned, and it really alarming, is that when you look at Garnacho, it would seem to me that all the fundamental development he would have received was at Atletico Madrid. Because
Yeah.
when he come
Yeah.
here, all we wanted he to do was just play based on what you know.
Play.
We didn't take
Yeah.
time to teach him nothing. You understand?
Mhm.
And as you saying, JP, prepare him for that kind of transition, so that when he reach at the senior level, he understand, different things, different fundamentals, IQ, thinking, decision making. You understand? And a
Respect.
lot of players coming into we buying a lot of good talent, but then we're not taking time to invest in those players to ready them holistically for the senior team. Okay, so he's a promising youth. Like let's use Obi for example. The man promising he could find the back of the net. He played the under 18, he played the 21, he scored 13 goal. All right, he trained with the first team now. All right, he's all of a sudden a senior player because the striker didn't get injured, and we're gonna depend on him now. And he get fortuitous with a couple of games, score goals, and all of a sudden he was the number 9. And if he get the number 9, he vex. You understand? And then they're ready to build statue. He got a song because they're singing the song that they sing fast. A legend of the club. He gained that song now. And this is what is happening. And this is why I had to agree with what Nico said with the comments that Amorim made. Because we destroying these players without giving them the fundamentals. We're not coaching them. We're not teaching them the game. And then because they're exceptional, they're making it, but they ain't ready for that level.
Yeah.
And Amaran said that today too. The same thing he said about Ahmad. And he say all do this to players here already. He say all of the media here. He say all the temper calm with Ahmad. You understand? Because he say all of us get a head swell, and then they just end up how it is.
Correct.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, because
I'm sure it's examples of that.
Exactly.
Ahmad still have to work. I love Ahmad, but Ahmad still have to work on his finishing and his passing.
Decision making.
Decision
Ahmad has
making.
improved.
Yeah.
He does, but you're willing to say that, boy, we seeing glimmers of what it could be.
Yeah.
If Ahmad improved by 0.5%, imagine that 0.5.
Yeah, there are plenty. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys, the January window is on us. So if you could, strengthen 2 positions in this team, what positions you will be strengthening?
Striker and wing back.
Which wing back? Left wing back.
Yeah. I think the left wing back definitely, and I think a player who could replace Bruno Fernandes. If it's in the number 10 or if it's deeper, because I still think, and I could be wrong, I still think without Bruno Fernandes we would struggle in our team. I think we need a proper replacement for Bruno Fernandes.
And that's a Mount. Mount can never stiff it.
Oh God, we know that. That's it. We had to go for that. We had to go for somebody who could replace Bruno Fernandes.
So you can't be that sour. You can't be that sour.
I would say left wing back and defensive mid. And I have 2 men for left wing already who I think we could look at. I like Robinson from Fulham. and Mitchell from Crystal Palace. I think people don't talk about Mitchell at all.
Eh, nah boy, nah. JP going on a road day.
Mitchell,
Shit.
no,
Mitchell be end up like a one Basaka.
Wan-Bissaka,
No,
it's still
no.
ripe. It's still ripe.
No.
no, because
But I will stick
Mitchell
with
actually,
Dalo.
no, Mitchell actually good offensively.
Better we stick
He
with
actually good
Dalo.
offensively too.
How
Mitchell
about
actually good
Nuts?
offensively too. Trust me, I watch him. It's not only now I watching Mitchell. Like I just always like to give players at least 2 seasons. And I find so far he's a consistent left back. He good defensively and offensively he's very good
The
as
boy
well.
from Fulham, remember that too.
Yeah, and I do like Americans and I call for America in this team. But I think
Yeah,
he
no,
would be
yeah.
the top one.
Now
He
he's
would
the
be the
best
top one
American
behind
out there right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going with him for sure.
I personally this guy Tyler Diblin from Southampton. He
That's for that money Southampton wants.
Sean
yeah,
Jackson thought.
60.
What?
60 million for Tyler Diblin. But this guy, I mean, he's looking promising, but I mean, good lord, we could also give Garnacho in him.
The man just say his right foot alone costs 40 ends.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, when they get
Did he not
relegated,
Garnacho in?
when they get relegated, that 60 had to go down. So
It's true.
yeah.
That's the Southampton. Southampton has
Exactly.
made the name of selling, and that's how they run the club, you know.
I mean,
No, but plenty of players do this have relegation clauses in the contract. Yeah, if they get relegated, you can't sell them for them kind of Premier League valuation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The Southampton manager get fired today.
Yeah, you can
Gary
get
O'Neill?
No.
No,
That was
Southampton and Wolves.
Wolves.
Southampton
Two of
and
them?
Wolves. Yeah, both of them.
Why you get it?
Both of them
Same
getting
one
relegated.
the same one who talked that notices about the player and how much he would. He and what again.
Yeah, two of them getting next boss today.
Yeah.
I mean, then we just sign a left back, a young left back. Left back.
17 years old.
He's 17 years old, man. Nobody ever heard of this guy. Never.
He can take some time. He can take some time. So he
Yeah.
come and
He-
play.
he-
That he was from Paraguay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have. I mean, in terms of like team building, like we have. Malacia, we don't really know how good he could be. Questions still out there. I already call Sean name. We know Dalo. Dalo ain't producing the any assists, or goals. But I just wonder if we have the kind of money to spend in that position. Yeah, we do need we do need better there. But do we have the kind of money with all those guys already in team without selling anybody? Do we have the money? That's nothing money. As far Chef, I know you was the one talking about striker to begin with this season, and you're so right. I mean, but what kind of striker can we get? We have Xerxes, we have Rasmus, but it's obvious we need a veteran striker to come in and do something.
We name unhappy in Saudi.
Tony?
Tony?
Yeah, like Chef Boy.
Tony
The man
will be proper.
The man bad.
But you see,
I totally
I don't
forget
know.
Ivan Tony in Saudi Arabia, boy. What
I
happened
feel
to that guy?
Tony. I feel like Tony will be better than that one of them tens, but and that you see that striker role requires a lot of work in terms of industrial output, and that's not Tony game. So I feel Tony might suit better in one of the 10 roles. But for me, I definitely think I left wing back, and I always jumping up this guy Kirkes from Bournemouth. I really like him. Middle school kids.
Yeah.
I find
A lot of men like him.
quality in possession, industry, and some nice cross. And I was thinking initially a striker, but I feel a number 10, to help with the creativity of the team, because I do believe, as much as Hoyland is not my cup of tea, I do believe if you create for the man, he will score.
In this
So I think
football.
we need more. Yeah, I think we need more creativity.
Yeah.
Because even when we try to move the ball up, you know, see we struggling in the final third now. You know, with that oomph, that little bit of X factor now.
Quality. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel that is what we need in the team. You know, unfortunately, as much as Bruno is the heartbeat and he grit and he go, you know, throw your hand up in the air for the sake of the team. That X factor is what we need in terms of creativity to provide for we number 9. And I feel a left wing back and a number 10, probably the left side, because Ahmad could more than lock that right side. You know? I'm just got some comments here and let me look to wrap it, guys. Kurt on the inside, Kurt saying here, I honestly was thinking that Amorim was gonna bench Onana. You know what he do last
Pretty rubbish
game.
in the last game. The last
Yeah.
couple of games.
Can't bench him, man, after that, too. The man has been, even though it was so.
Well, not bench him, rest him. Give him a rest. Now. Give him a rest. I feel you'll give him a rest against Spurs in midweek.
Yeah, I feel so, too.
You see,
Then-
Christian on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying like they gas up the fridge because since he came back, me didn't see him play body yet. Now, but today was Maguire was solid.
Maguire.
Today.
Yeah.
Why you Maguire so low?
Now let me get Jackie jacket. And I
Nah.
don't know if it's because of the system, but he played. Even Amorim say Maguire just played good in a back three.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Maguire was immense today, man.
Maguire
He
was proper. And just, I know we're wrapping up, I just want to add something quick to that Maguire thing. Maguire and, you know, a point Nico always made for the last couple of seasons, the drop off when we make substitutions. But you see that clear when we make the substitutions now? The men who coming in,
Added value. Yeah.
and added value. But big up to Maguire. But yeah, he doesn't annoy me, but I could give Jack the jacket. Maguire takes so much abuse from Manchester fans, but that man is just staying really well.
I tell you, I reach the point where I don't mind Maguire staying in because he doesn't look like he disruptive. And when he come in, he get a good job. He doing a job, you know.
Yeah.
So Rian on the inside, Rian, thanks for joining, man.
Hey, Ryan. Good night, man.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
job,
good night,
guys. He also saying here was also a great match today, definitely. Christian saying here, sell Rashford, sign Son on a free 1-year deal to free up.
So they signed that contract yet?
I don't know. I don't really fancy this Son thing.
That's what you don't fancy about Son.
The man's 32 years. The man's 32 years old. What we could get out of him now?
A year contract.
I don't know. I don't know.
I really like Son. Huh? I
I
really
like
like Son.
Son, but I mean,
Son.
it's 4 years. It's 4 years too late, man. But if we do sign
Yeah.
Son, well, I mean, definitely we'll get a bigger fan
Son
base.
is 32.
He's 32, bro. Yeah. Don't forget, Son has been performing since was the manager from Argentina again?
Argentina.
Pochettino, yeah, the man has been performing in the Dele Alli days and the Hurricane days. You know, don't forget.
Hurricane. Son has been totally aside for a while.
Ain't
You know,
Hurricane
Old boy?
Hurricane has not the same age. Yeah.
Anyway, guys, so we have Spurs in the Carabao Cup on Tuesday. Let me hope we could continue to take steps forward. Eliminating Spurs after a win like this, is what you want. So Phil spoke about consistency, and we all agree. To come and lose to lose on Tuesday, it would be like a dagger in the side, especially after this euphoria. So I mean, we hope that whatever 11 the manager put out, because we know you're gonna rotate, that them fellas give us the same discipline, intelligence, patience, and cutting edge. The manager said that it's a new day, it's a new life, or something like that. So even the likes of Rashford and Garnacho, could come now and say, well, okay, we ain't done yet. Even though I might get sold in January, I ain't done yet. Right? And that's what we want. That's the kind of response I want to see from them, boy, and them. you know,
Yeah.
because that will only benefit the team. And for me, the team matters more than the individual. You know,
Correct.
so yeah, let me just get the last two comments and let me wrap it, guys. Because I'm saying here, I watched that game today. He is 32 years, but he is a workhorse. Yeah, we end out in that, but I just feel, you know, we need to go in a different direction. All right. We're sitting here, and we all older than, oh God, boy. That's so right. Anyway, guys, so it was nice. It was nice. It felt good. I could actually go back and watch back this game. You know, I could watch back this game and feel good about it, you know. And perhaps I may. You know,
I
anyway.
just want to watch ESPN.
I watch it. I rewatched the game. I follow this YouTube channel where they do fan reactions, like, you know, in the moment, right? So I'm gonna see how Manchester City fans react to them scoring first, and then we get a new penalty, and then I'm gonna
You
watch
didn't see them in the stands?
But
You
then
didn't-
cursing.
There is a camera angle of when Ahmad was fouled for the penalty, when this wild wildebeest run and stamp on it. That whoever is that Manchester City player, right? This man get caught in the camera angle because literally as he fought, that man went up on that. So Jesus, I want to see figure out who is that player because I get weak with that reaction, you know. And the crowd, there was absolutely no argument for that. The crowd was like, what's just idiots?
I think the camera angle that I also like is where the Ahmad penalty, and then in the background you can see Pep Guardiola doing this here.
Anyway, guys, I mean, all those were, you know, real enjoyable moments, and we can look back and you know, laugh because we won. You know, fellas, it was nice. Nico,
good night.
Phil, Chef, Manchester is red. Have a good night. See you in the next one.
Yes, sir.